Hello and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn and the first video of 2023. Now, I've got lots of ideas for this year, but, well, something's been bugging me and it's what I've got to get on with today. So I'm going to be working on some 1/48 scale projects today, mostly because with the Advent calendar, there's certain pieces that have been nagging at me and I want to get them ready to go into the property. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to start with a little story. I didn't get a Christmas present. Well, I didn't get the Christmas present I was supposed to get. Not on Christmas Day. Because of the post. Because of the way that things have been with the postal deliveries in the UK, because of striking postal workers, my parcel, well, the parcel that contained my present off my husband didn't turn up before Christmas. And 2 days before Christmas, he went rushing out to get something for me so that I had something to open that was a surprise. And bless him, he tried. But when you know your Christmas present is on the way and you know where it's coming from and you've got a good idea of what was on your wish list, nothing else is going to compare. But they turned up. 2 days after Christmas, when the postal service resumed, it turned up. Now, because we moved house, we set up a redirect on our mail, which means that for 6 months, anything that was supposed to go to our old address would be sent to our new address. This is where the problem came. When he ordered my Christmas present, somehow, I'm not sure exactly how, it got sent to the old address. And then they had a right game figuring out what to do with it. Just send it to the new address. But because we've moved far enough away that we're under different delivery offices and all that, it wasn't simple. It had to go back to a distribution office and then to another distribution office and then to our local office. All the time, parcels are mounting up and things weren't getting where they should be. But I've got it now. And even more than that, I've got 2 things. I've got Journey's End Funeral Parlour. And I've got Reaper's Rest. Dead End is coming together. Or at least it will be when I get them built. It's going to take a while. But I only need 1 dead end property now. And I think I might get that when it comes back into stock. So fingers crossed that isn't too long. So if you've been around a while, you'll know that this is the current project that we're working on. This is Hangmans Halt, and we've now about finished the outside and it's time to work on the inside. Now, I didn't do a lot last time. We did, however, get the door in downstairs. Let's see if I can do this. Yay! We've upgraded the camera and it's better for this little stuff, hopefully. This is kind of why I'm doing this video as well, because I get to play with the technology. And I've put a door into the back of my ground floor room. If you haven't watched the previous parts of this, I'd recommend that you do. But I go for the what's not visible. So you get a glimpse at the front of the property, but the insinuation is that there's more. there is more unseen. So we did the door, we put a little bit of aging on the inside. Now, I was planning that I was going to get on with this ground floor room, but the advent calendar means that I'm going to move upstairs to my sort of living kitchen area, because I want to build the sink unit. It's one of the advent calendar kits, and it is going to go really, really well with my kitchen, because it goes with my kitchen. It goes with my kitchen units. Now, I've got my little box of furnishings, and that is the retro kitchen cabinet and wall cabinet from last year, from 2021's advent calendar. And I'm going to do this to match. So I'm going to move this out of the way so that we can see what I'm doing, and we'll get this unpacked. Now, inside the bag, I've got the instructions, and I've got the sheet with all the pieces, and I've also got a little MDF piece, which is going to make the inside of the sink itself. All the pieces from this need cutting out, as is usual. They're tabbed onto the little card that they come on, so it'll be a case of getting a craft knife and cutting them off. But I'm going to actually start adding some colour to this, because, well, that's what I need to do. So I'm going to paint it. I'm going to colour it the same colour as the rest of the kitchen, and that means I'm going with a alcohol marker, and this one's baby blue, which I believe is what I used previously. I should by rights go back and check, but it looks like it's the right colour. And so what I will be doing is I will be colouring the relevant bits. There are some bits that I will be painting, because I've done my countertop white on the other one, so I will be using some white on the countertop. And I've also got a silver pen that I'm going to use for the colour on the actual sink itself, because I want it to look like a metal sink. I need to figure out, I'm going to do a tap or something to give a indication that there's a tap there, but excuse me, that's my aim. So I'm going to start off with some colouring, and I'll come back and show you what I've done shortly. The bits are all coloured, mostly with the pens, a little bit with some paint, and I think I'm ready to start putting it together. So I've got my instructions in front of me, and the first bit to do is the main structure of the unit, and this folds nicely. Now, I'm not too worried about colouring in the corners, because I think this is going to fit quite nicely that way, so you're not going to see it anyway. But if you are, this is the point at which you need to get your pen and just run a bit of ink down there. So I'm going to get my piece, get some glue on my cocktail stick, and I'm going to put this together. Now, again, because it's the bottom and it's not going to be visible, I'm just going to tidy it up like that. The little bit of glue inside that I can get rid of with the other end of my cocktail stick, toothpick, whatever you want to call it. And that comes off quite easily. Now, this glue that I've got does stick pretty darn quick, but If yours takes a bit longer, you just have to hold it a bit longer. That is the main thing, is to make sure that it sticks in place. Now the next piece we're going to put in is the sort of internal end of the piece, and to do this I'm going to have to put glue onto these two side tabs, because that bit will be fitting into the slot, and the bottom piece, which is that one. I've only coloured this on the one side to try and ensure that I put it in the right way. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there. That will spread itself. And I'm going to pop this in very, very carefully. And you just need to make sure that this actually stays nice and correctly orientated. You want it at right angles to the back piece. And I'm just going to clear off the glue. I'm putting this bit of glue onto my hand because it's just easier. It comes off really nicely though, and we're ready to carry on. Now, with this having the open shelves at this one side, it's a really nice detail. And all I will do is just remind you that you have to do the edges. There's not many edges on this that are actually going to show once it's stuck into place. So these are going to be stuck into place similar to how we stuck this in. So that's a little bit of glue on these and a bit on that other side. This might be one of the points where a pair of tweezers is useful, because these are tiny little bits and I'm having trouble getting this in today. There we go. I'm going to turn it that way up so that I can actually see it. I'll clear my extra glue off. A lot of what I'm doing it by eye at this scale. It is about the only way you can do it is you have to sort of do a little bit of making sure that it looks right. And I've got this video like this and I'm getting really tangled up. And yeah, that's in place. It's a case of clean up the glue, and then I'm going to leave this to dry. And we'll move on to the next step. The next step that we are going to work on is the actual sink. Now, what I have realised is the instruction is quite vague when it comes to sticking the front together. I mean, it's quite self-explanatory, but it does sort of run off a little bit. It's not a problem because I've done these kits before. I know how Petite Properties tend to work. But if you're not used to making these kind of kits, you really do need to read through the instructions 2 or 3 times before you start building it, which I did do, but I actually started this a couple of days ago. It's been a little while. So, as I say, next section is the sink. That's the top piece, which looks brilliant. The sink looks great in there. And then you've got the body of the sink, which is the little wooden piece. And then we've got a base piece, which is going to give us an actual sink with a drain hole, a plug hole, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to stick these 2 pieces together, and I'm going to begin by putting some glue on this wooden piece. And we're going to attach this onto here. This is quite straightforward. Just made a little box. Now, this isn't going to be visible on the outside, so again, I haven't coloured the bits that aren't going to be seen. Now, we're going to repeat putting glue on the other side of this, because this is going to go onto the underneath of the countertop. Now, if you've got glue with a fine applicator, you won't need the toothpick, cocktail stick, whatever. My glue doesn't work very well putting it into a fine nozzled bottle. I have tried in the past, and that's why I use a bit of cardboard and a handy dandy toothpick, cocktail stick, whatever you want to call it. Now, there we go. Now, I've just used the end of the toothpick just to push this into place. And again, this needs to be let to dry. But what I will just do is I will just check that this fits on nicely. And it does. The sink fits. So we will put this upside down aside, and we will put that together, the whole piece together, that is, in a moment. Now, as I say, the instructions tell you to attach that onto there and then put this on to the front. Now, this is quite straightforward because, as you can see, it's etched. And what you do is you stick your doors into the appropriate places. And that's what I'm going to do now while I'm waiting for the other glue to dry, is I'm going to put a few pieces, I'm going to put these few pieces onto here, and then this can dry while I'm sticking the other pieces together. It won't take long to dry anyway because they are just flat pieces. It's not going to be a very stressful dry, in that, you know, you're not having to hold anything in place. And then we'll just put the drawer fronts. And as you can see, you get quite quickly, you get a nice three-dimensional finish to the cabinet without too much hassle. So I'm going to give everything a few more moments to dry off, and then we're going to put everything together. Hopefully everything is now dry. I've actually took longer than I intended between these because I'm having technological difficulties. So if the sound on this video is a bit up and down, that's the reason why. Even my amazing husband can only do so much when I'm having technical problems. The next thing is to stick the stick the pieces together. So I'm going to start off by popping a bit of glue on to these pieces here and on the back of this piece here. Because this is where it's going to stick together. And pop this in here like so. And then I'm going to go along the edges, remove any extra glue from the top, and also from under here, because I have got some that's come out down this side. Now obviously inside the main body of the sink unit, you're not going to see anything, and I just knocked that fine. You're not going to see anything because the front's going to go on there. So I'm just going to hold this in place for a little while and wait for the glue to take hold. Won't take very long, and then it's not going to go anywhere. Now, the front panel is going to go on to here like so, and so to stick this into place, I am going to put glue on these outside edges. I'm having trouble with my words. I don't need it on there. I need it on these bits, because that's where it's going to stick. Doesn't need to be much glue, but you do want to be all the way around. So what we'll do is we will just get this and we will line this up. And we just need to clean up the glue again. And again, give it a little bit of drying time, and we will have our wonderful retro kitchen sink unit, and that is going to go absolutely perfect with the other kitchen units that we've got. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. It's going to look good. I have pulled up the house and I've started putting the various pieces inside. Now, because I want this to be a sort of living kitchen space, I have fitted in my kitchen pieces and I've put in my gas fire. One thing that has become apparent is that the table that I made to go in this room is too big. It just looks completely way too big, and I'm going to have to make something else myself, which is going to be smaller. I love the table, but it's just not practical. So I'm not going to stick everything in today. I've attached the door. I have attached the two base kitchen units. That's the base unit and the sink unit that we've just made. I've glued the cooker into place, and I've glued the gas fire into place. The wall unit isn't yet stuck in place. I can remove that. Now the front piece of this is not stuck in place on here because I want to put something in behind the glass, and I haven't decided quite what yet. So I'm not too fussed about that. I want to put some bits on here, maybe, not sure what, again. And I've got my fireside chairs, which are going to go in, and they're going to fit. One is going to fit here, something like that, at a bit of an angle, and then the other one is going to be further in. Obviously I can't put them in place because they're just going to fall off. But we're starting to get the idea of this room. Now I have got a few spots here on the edge where papers come up, and I'm going to use my cocktail stick, and I'm going to stick the bits down. It happens, especially when you are putting water, etc. on to age paper. You do have to do a little bit of repair work. It's not the end of the world. And as you can see, all it needs is a little bit of paper, a little bit of glue, and it sticks down. So we've got the start of a room. It's kind of looking how I want it to look, and I'm quite pleased about that. So I need to decide now if I'm going to work on trying to come up with a new table, with a new, with some bits to go into the cupboards to sort of dress the room, or what I'm going to do. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, and I have got the chairs that go with the table already. They are going to get used. I'm going to obviously have the 2 fireside chairs, and then I'm going to have a little table and those couple of chairs. I might make it a round table just because it would look, well, it's going to look all right, whatever I put in it, I think. But I think it might be a bit easier for me to make a round table than a square one, maybe. I just, if I show you, this table looks far too big for the kitchen that's in there, in my opinion. You might think it looks fine, and I love the table. I just don't think it's quite right for this piece. So I'm going to go and have a think. Doing a lot of thinking at the moment, trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. And I'll be back. After I filmed the last bit, I realised that I'd jumped the gun somewhat, and I had stuck my kitchen sink unit in without adding a tap. Now, hopefully, if I do this right, you can see that I've added a little bit of wire to replicate a tap on my sink. I haven't added the actual handles of the tap. I think that will do, but yeah, I mucked up a bit. I got ahead of myself, and that's what happens. So anyway, I fixed that one, and I've been looking around, looking for pieces that I could use to dress the the kitchen units. And I've not been doing very well, to be fair. I think I'm going to have to order some bits off the internet because, well, it just needs a little bit more than me with some beads. Although that said, I have been through the beads, and I have made a little tin. Now this could be an old-fashioned tea caddy. Some of them were quite large. Or more likely it would be a biscuit barrel, a cookie jar, if you would. I took a little metal bead and I've given it a lid. The lid is made from 3 layers of just ordinary black cardstock that I punched out with a hole punch like this. This is meant for making holes, not for making the circles. So it's a little bit difficult, but it kind of works. And I think that when I put that into place on the kitchen counter at the back, it's going to work. It's just going to add a little bit of detail. Now, I would like to potentially make some kind of food items, but I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that at the moment. So, yeah, lots of thought ahead. With the fact that I'm going to have to put an internet order in, and the fact that, as you might have gathered, I'm not 100%. I was ill over the Christmas period and it's lingering. And today I seem to be a little bit on the coughing side of things. It's not too bad, but it's just annoying when you're trying to film. And yeah, with that in mind, I think I'm going to draw this video to a close. And go away and figure out how I can make some foodstuffs small enough. Probably something in tins or boxes. Tins I should be all right with. If I can find some nice little cocktail sticks, I can make them look like little tinned foods and they'll fit in that little glass area on there quite nicely. Actually, that is a very good idea that's just come to me while I'm sat here. And then I will also set my mind to a replacement kitchen table. I've got an idea. I've just got to figure out how quite to do it. So, yeah, I think with the sink in place and the room starting to come together, I'm going to call it a day. I hope that you've enjoyed this video and another glimpse into 1/48 scale. And I'll be back really soon to carry on with Hangmans Halt and maybe even get it finished. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. Maybe even ring that notification bell to find out when I put up a video. I put up a video most weeks, usually on a Friday, but I never promise anything because real life gets in the way. But until next time, bye.